Some storms come from clouds. Others come from heaven's silence. This is the story of a man who lost everything: his children, his wealth, his health, his dignity. Not because he was evil, but because he was chosen. This is the day faith held on, when nothing made sense. Job was not an ordinary man. He was a man who feared God and deliberately avoided evil. He prayed for his children daily, always thinking, perhaps they have sinned, and offered sacrifices on their behalf. His household was full, his flocks were many, and his reputation was flawless. In heaven itself, God spoke of Job, saying, "There is no one like him on the whole earth." But in the shadows, an adversary whispered a challenge. "He serves you only because you bless him. Take it all away, and he will curse you to your face." A profound quiet fell over heaven. A test was about to begin. The news came like a series of lightning strikes, one after another, with no time to breathe. A servant ran to Job, gasping, "Enemies attacked, your oxen and donkeys are gone." Before Job could even process the words, another arrived. "Fire fell from the sky, your sheep are all dead." And before that man could finish, a third messenger appeared. "Raiders stole your camels, they killed your servants." Job grabbed his head in anguish. How could so much go wrong so fast? But the worst was yet to come. The fourth messenger arrived, his face pale, his body trembling. He could barely speak. A great wind collapsed the house. "Your sons and your daughters." They did not survive. Job fell to the ground, not in a rage, not in disbelief, but in worship. He tore his robe and shaved his head, then said, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will return. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." Even in this, his darkest moment, Job did not sin or charge God with wrongdoing. Heaven watched in silence. The adversary, however, was not finished. He struck again, this time at Job's own body. Painful boils covered him from the soles of his feet to the crown of his head. His skin burned constantly. His breath was foul. His strength completely vanished. He took a piece of broken pottery to scrape himself and sat among the ashes. He wasn't there to show humility. The sheer agony drove him there. His wife, broken by her own immeasurable grief, cried out to him, "Are you still holding on to your integrity? Just curse God and die." Job lifted his blistered hands and looked at her. Shall we accept good from God and not trouble? But heaven remained silent. Then 3 of Job's friends arrived. They saw him from a distance and barely recognized the man they once knew. In horror and grief, they tore their robes and sprinkled dust on their heads. They sat with him on the ground for 7 days and 7 nights without speaking a single word, because they saw how great his suffering was. But when they finally opened their mouths, their words were like knives. "You must have sinned. You brought this on yourself. God doesn't punish the innocent." They were convinced his suffering was a direct result of some hidden transgression. Job wept. His voice cracked with pain and frustration. "I have done no wrong," he cried out. "I cry out for help, but there is no justice. No answer comes. Oh God, where are you?" The silence was deafening. Heaven said nothing. But somewhere deep inside, a whisper of faith told him, "Hold on." One night, Job wandered outside the camp, staring up at the vast, dark sky. The stars sparkled, their silent, distant beauty almost mocking his pain. He shouted into the darkness, "God, you watch over the sparrow. Why won't you watch over me? You count the hairs on my head, yet you seem to have forgotten my soul." No voice answered him. No angel appeared. No comfort came from the heavens. But even then, at his lowest point, Job refused to curse God. He refused to walk away. He refused to let go of his faith. He clung to the one lifeline he had left, declaring, "I know that my Redeemer lives. And though after my skin worms destroy this body, yet in my flesh I shall see God." In that moment, Faith was his only breath. Hope was his only heartbeat. Then, after a silence so long it felt like death itself, a storm began to form. Thunder shook the ground. The wind howled, and a voice came from the whirlwind. It was God. "Job, where were you when I laid the earth's foundations? Have you ever commanded the morning, or shown the dawn its place? Do you give the horse its strength? Can you loosen the belt of Orion, or lead out the bear with its cubs?" God did not answer Job's questions about his suffering. Instead, he answered Job's heart. He reminded him, "I am God. You are mine, and I have never left you." Overwhelmed, Job fell to his knees. "I am unworthy," he said. "I spoke of things I did not understand, things too wonderful for me. My ears had heard of you, but now my eyes have seen you." The silence was finally over. The trial had ended. And then came the restoration. God restored Job completely. He healed his body, removing every last boil. He multiplied his wealth, giving him double what he had before. And he gave him children again, 7 sons and 3 daughters, who were known as the most beautiful in all the land. But the greatest restoration was not what Job received back in his hands. It was what he learned in his heart. Faith is not built when heaven is loud, but when heaven is silent. You may feel like Job today. You're praying, you're hurting, you're questioning, you're waiting, and heaven seems completely quiet. But please remember this: silence does not mean absence. A delay does not mean a denial. God is always working in the things you cannot see. Sometimes the greatest faith we can show is simply refusing to let go when nothing makes sense. Hold on. The God who restored Job has not forgotten you. When heaven is silent, faith speaks loudest.